Hello, this is Bill with Garden Grizzly. This is the second in the series on the Prusa print house that we're building. And I'm going to start in this video by cutting out the styrofoam, and that's for insulation around the walls, and then continuing on. So let's get after it. I've got the styrofoam backing for the print farm done now, and as you can see, the ducts are done, glue's dried, so I'm going to go ahead and put it in the back, if I can get it in this little building, that is. It's been a couple weeks since the last time that I worked on this. Too many other projects going on, so we'll see how this goes. Put the reflective aluminum foil on the inside to reflect, keeping the heat in. So I'm using 1/4-inch washer, large area washers, and these pan head Craig screws to secure the foam onto the shelving. And then I 3D printed these nuts. After all, this is a 3D print farm, the beginnings of one. And of course, styrofoam is extremely lightweight, so this isn't too difficult to hold together. And that's all there is to that. I'm going to put screws all the way down this side, all the way down that side. And of course, the idea is to put my printers across here. And these are air ducts because I'll explain this later, but I'm setting it up so that I have cooling on my printers, and I don't have to do something extravagant to keep the electronics cold. I've got the back wall on, just finishing up this last screw hole right here, and I'm just taking an awl, poking a hole in this, threading the screw through the backside. All right, so I've got some scrap steel that I had out in the back, and making the baffles for the heater and for the circulation fan. And so since it's scrap, it's not exactly what the drawing showed, but it's going to be close enough. So that's what I'm working on at the moment. Cut this piece in half. It was a piece of trim from our shed business, and here we go. I bought a new rivet squeezer, and I just thought I'd show you this real quick. Not everybody knows how to use Teflon tape. There's a air fitting. So get Teflon tape on the last thread, because then it might get inside, contaminate whatever it is that you're using the threaded fitting for. But you just, if you hold it in your right hand and turn just like you were screwing it in, it just goes that easy. So hold the tape in your left hand, hold the fitting in your right hand. At least 3 turns is what they recommend. And then you just pull it tight till it breaks, and there it is. It's just that easy. And then I always take the end, flip it over the side, and it's ready to go for the next time. And then of course with Teflon tape, you have to remember that Teflon is one of the slipperiest things there is, and so don't over torque whatever it is that you're putting it into. And if you've used plenty of Teflon tape, it doesn't have to be very tight anyway. And so if you ever have to change the fitting, it comes out so easy, it's ridiculous. And it'll never leak. Just that simple. So I just thought I'd show you that. Finished installing one of the sets of baffles for the filter and the heater that goes in the print farm, and so this is what it looks like installed. And I'm going to go ahead and install the other one right now. I realized that two of my brackets were missing, and I think one of them ended up getting broken, so instead of being able to put it on at the moment, I'm having to print a couple more. This is my Prusa XL, and it has done an amazing job. I've made this enclosure for it a while back, and that has worked out really well. And so I'm just going to have to print those parts before I keep going, at least on this section. So I'll do some other things. I got to get the doors ready, got to get the front ready, and that's what's next. While I'm waiting for that to print, I can go ahead and put the heater on. This is a 500 watt heater, got from Amazon. It's a ceramic heater, so it should last a long time. And again, this baffle, so I 3D printed these brackets, and this is just supposed to go right here, just like that. Printed a few slots into the bottom of these brackets so that the zip ties can hold it. This first plug is wired to a switch for the heater, and then the second plug is wired for the filtration fan. And you can see that there's a possibility of this chafing, so I'm going to have to put something there to protect this over time so that it doesn't short out and do something stupid. And that's good enough. Alright, so what I'm doing now is I'm going ahead and installing the polycarbonate in the front. I'm using polycarbonate instead of plexiglass. One thing I was surprised at is how flexible it is, but it doesn't break, and you can trim it and do all kind of drill it and do whatever you want, and it just doesn't care. So that's what I'm working on at the moment. Alright, I've gone ahead and put the lights in. These are just LED strip lighting that came from Amazon, and so you just pull the back off and stick it on. So I've got it all the way around the top, and that should be a lot of light. And there's the switch that goes with it, and now I'm going to go ahead and do the same thing to the bottom. The next step, as you can see, is to finish all the wiring. So I'm going to have the two heater element controllers right here. That's in these boxes. And a switch for each of the filter fans. And then a separate switch to run the fan that cools the printers and provides power to the printers. So that if the printers are running, the fan is also running, so that I can't burn up the printers. I'm going to finish right here in this video segment, and stay tuned for the next section. Thanks for watching.